WDW After Dark. Now loading.
WDW After Dark. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. Starring Jeff Davis, Al Jonko, Kristen Hetzel, and Eric Allen. WDW After Dark is live and uncensored. Call the hotline at 410-98-WDW-AD. Follow us on Facebook at WDW After Dark Webcast and Twitter at WDW After Dark. Headline news, Disney food, video games, Marvel and Star Wars. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. And now prepare yourself for WDW After Dark.
Welcome one and all to WDW After Dark, your weekly show for Disney fans. We talk about Marvel, Star Wars, and the Disney parks. All kinds of great news and content every single week up for discussion. And we have some news headlines for you in this particular program. Really quick, before we get started, don't forget to check out our entire group of shows, our podcast, our webcast archive, and so much more, and our shopping links there at www.afterdark.com. There you can support our show. We're on Patreon. We have our Amazon links. You can book your Disney trip with Kristen at magicaljourneysvacations.com, and so much more. Make us your one-stop shop for everything you need for your home and your Disney trip, by the way. All right, just bookmark that page, wdwafterdark.com. Go shopping and check out all of our great shows there, wdwafterdark.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently holding for further traffic clearance.
Check out Kristen's new website, magicaljourneysvacations.com, for all your vacation needs. Disney, Universal, cruise lines, and more.
Thank you for traveling with us.
magicaljourneysvacations.com. Have her book your magical vacation today. Welcome back to the program. I am one of your hosts, lifelong Disney fan, Marvel fan, Star Wars fan, Al Jonko. Thank you for joining us. Joined by our panel of Disney experts. They are not self-proclaimed Disney experts. There's a big difference between them. They are Disney experts. We are here with the mighty Marvel geek himself, the host of Sorcerer Radio's Sorcom Review, Mr. Eric Allen. Hello. Yo.
Yo,
yeah, you see, now say that again and then lift up your card, because now the camera moves and now they can see it.
Yeah, see, this is one thing that was back in the early days of After Dark when we could see all four of us, all of us on the screen at the same time. And I had these little cards like, that one and
the Yo card.
This one right here that says, "Thank you, Captain Obvious." Let's see. Yes, like this one, and let's see. Let me find my favorite. Here we go.
Yeah, the parental warning.
Skosh, about 2 seconds worth, if you remember. And I kind of like ditched these when we went to Google Hangouts because, well, it doesn't really help to show them when somebody else is talking. But I found them in the trunk of my old car that I was getting ready to donate, and it's kind of like Throwback Thursday, except on a Tuesday.
I get it. No, that's cool, man. You know what? If you have a hankering for some classic WDW After Dark, does that even fit? Does that even work? You can log on to our website.
We've been doing this since 2011.
Yeah, right. And not all the shows are available. Some of the shows just got lost in the ether, unfortunately, when we made the switch to podcast and YouTube and all that stuff. So it's just kind of.
So if you find it, it's kind of like finding that vintage vinyl in the pawn shop.
Well, no, I'll put it to you like this, and I don't know, Jeff, if you have any of the old shows, but I can tell you this: that if you are able to find shows prior to 2013 at all, even through the Wayback Machine or whatever, let us know, because we'll gladly take that audio and put it online, because those shows are really funny. They're long as hell too. I think we did a marathon of about 2.5 hours, Jeff, something like that.
We clearly did this when we had nothing better to do.
Oh, there you go. There's the disembodied voice of Mr. Jeff Disney Davis, our news monster, host of the DW60 News program on Sorcerer Radio, and internet darling, Jeff, chiming in finally. I'm glad you got the mic working. I was worried about you.
Yeah, got worried there for a second. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to do this or not, but finally got it working. So.
No, the old school days of After Dark were great. We had marathon long shows. We had an after show after that. It was just a big full night. It was on Friday night of all nights, because we wanted to be unopposed. At the time, there were live video shows, I think, from Lou Mangello, and I think who else was doing a live show at the time? I can't remember. I think the Diz may have been doing a show, and everybody's doing trying to do this on a brand new platform. People were using Ustream. Mm-hmm. I think our friends at Rebel Force Radio, before they were on Rebel Force Radio, were doing their live radio show or their live podcast on Ustream, Justin TV. We were using a mixture of Skype and live stream.
Live stream. Yeah, live stream.
And we were hosting these marathon shows. It literally, because we're such good friends, we have met each other, by the way, face to face, but the radio aspect of the program was so great because we have a natural chemistry together, which makes it so much fun. And I think a lot of people love the show as a result of that chemistry, guys, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah. Now, we've never all been together in one place at the same time.
Oh, God, the universe would explode, would it not?
Oh, dear. Oh, yes.
I think
no doubt about that.
Yeah, we vacationed and met up, Jeff on several occasions with Eric, and one of these days we'll all get together and it's going to be superb.
Got your headlines. WDW After Dark presents Disney Headline News.
We do have a whole lot of Disney headline news to talk about this week. And without further ado, let's go ahead and launch into some news, Disney headline news. Mr. Jeff Davis, what's on your agenda for tonight?
Well, a couple of different things that kind of intertwine with each other when it comes to the West Coast and the East Coast, in a way. And, of course, that has to do with Guardians of the Galaxy, a very big topic when it comes to Disney parks, whether it be Disneyland or even Walt Disney World. Well, first off, what I did want to mention is that, let's see, I've got it right here somewhere. I just lost it. Where did it go? Well, I don't need it. I can just pretty much tell you about it.
They're tearing down the sign. Oh,
I am being pinged here. I mean, gosh.
You're a popular guy, Jeff.
I don't know. I don't know what that's the thing.
Is Miley trying to text you or something?
I think she is. She possibly could be. So, as most of you know, they did announce that the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror over in Anaheim is being converted into a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. And this is still a small ways away, but Eric, even you noticed this. In the news feeds, they have already removed the signage. Mm-hmm. And the attraction isn't even closed down yet. They haven't even closed it down to start the refurbishment, and they've already removed the signage on the top of it. And I was just a little disappointed that the final days of the Tower of Terror wouldn't be in its original form, for everybody to enjoy and take pictures with, one more time in front of it before it changes and everything. I was a little bit, I don't know about you guys. I was kind of sad to see that happen so soon.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like when you're foreclosing on a house, and you've given somebody till the end of the month to vacate the premises, but halfway through that month, the construction people come through and start talking about, how they're going to demo all this stuff or pick it up and move it to another. It's just have a heart, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just kind of like, yes, we all know it's going to happen. There's no need to, it's like rubbing your face in it.
It is kind of like rubbing your face in it.
Yeah,
which I mean,
eventually, it is sad. And when I saw it and I saw the cranes there, I was like, oh my gosh, it's just the end of an era. It's sad.
Yeah, the picture I saw was with the signage removed from the front of the building and everything, and then also there was this huge crane right there in the picture as well, right there next to it, which is just the inevitability of this thing just making a major change and stuff. So some people were a little bit upset about that, but it did mean that Disney's moving in that direction. The change is going to be made here pretty soon, and people can enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy out there in Anaheim. Now, tying into that, when it comes to the East Coast and Epcot, Walt Disney World. Now, I'm going to enter the rumorville as I tell you guys this. This is a full-fledged rumor, but according to cast members who do work over at Ellen's Energy Adventure, the Universe of Energy there in Epcot, they have been informed by management that there is a closing date for Ellen's Energy Adventure. And
really?
if you're going to believe this kind of stuff, they are saying, what cast members are saying, the rumor is that it's going to happen in January of 2017, which is just a few short months away after the big push of the holiday season and New Year's and everything else. What they're being told is that it will be shut down 2017 to make way for the rumored Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I've talked about this roller coaster a couple of times on the SR show on Thursdays, and test tracking a few things with a certain company. And this is a company that Disney has used many, many, many times in the past, like Rock and Roller Coaster and a couple of other types of attractions. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is also responsible for helping piece together and develop this track that they're wanting to do or Guardians of the Galaxy. Is Guardians of the Galaxy attraction at Epcot is likely to be announced at the upcoming Destination D event, and it's going to be announced by Bob Chapek, according to Internet. Kind of going around, of course. For Epcot was originally scheduled to be talked about and told to the public during Comic-Con, along with the Mission Breakout attraction, of course, Tower of Terror Disney California Adventure. But the problem was they did not get the green light that they wanted. Typically, they just didn't have a green light all the way to let people at Epcot, and that is why that did not happen. But that's why they're going to use the Destination D event in order to talk about all of this. So the rumors are starting to come together slowly. The truth seems to be coming out a little bit more and more every single week as we tend to find out a little bit more information. And I think it's a very, very exciting thing to happen when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy. This is Marvel, and we all know the problems that Walt Disney World has with, adding Marvel characters to the parks and everything else. Well, the latest rumor that I heard tying this in with Marvel, and I don't know, Aljon, you may have heard this or not. All this week, Walt Disney World is doing casting calls, Strange lookalikes, and possibly Doctor Strange having a meet and greet and other opportunities over at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I don't know if you guys have heard about this or not, but it is circulating right now that Disney is casting for this specific character to be in the parks. So if something like that were to happen, I don't know.
I'm still wondering how they're going to get around the agreement. Now, I have heard through sources that there are loopholes and technicalities that Disney can exploit. First, the one that I keep hearing the most is that so long as the word Marvel is not included, then it's kind of enough in a gray area where they can get away with it. I'm still surprised that I will still be surprised to see anything Marvel, even not called Marvel, in the parks in Orlando.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that, because think about it.
Yeah.
You know, that they would have a very, very hard time selling any type of merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the comics, all the movies, everything that would tie in to make sense is all Marvel stamped. It's all Marvel stamped. So I don't, you know, and they already sell that stuff.
Sure.
I mean, you can already get, you know, Marvel mouse ears and all kinds of stuff in the park. So, you know, how much of that is actually going to, you know, unless, of course, there's some things behind the scenes that are going on that Universal may have an exit strategy, or Disney's going to further invest in and buy out, you know, that section of Universal and help finance their rebuilding of that park so that they can get the characters to rebuild a newer Disney, newer portion of Epcot.
What have we been saying all along? And I, of course, this happened back in 2009 before I even joined the staff with y'all. But I was saying it even then. Once the acquisition took place, you knew that there had to be some sort of exit strategy being summed up there at Universal, at Marvel. And Disney, of course, they would have to have some sort of strategy for lack of a better term, souring the milk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure.
In other words, it's kind of like, okay, we can't break this contract because basically Universal has this as long as they want it. Okay, so the question is, how do we make them not want it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does not sound very happy, play nice with the other kids, but it's business, dude. It's business, and you're talking about billions of dollars worth of business.
And Disney and Universal are also, you know, bed brothers. I don't even want to call it. They're strange. They make strange bedfellows, I guess. I don't know how you want to call it, but they are business partners in a lot of different other realms of communication. Hulu, for one.
I like the word frenemies.
Frenemies, yeah, there are frenemies.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
They're not sleeping in the same bed together. It's more like the olden days in the 50s where, you know, husband and wife were sleeping in the same room but in little twin beds together. That's the best way to describe Disney and Universal's, you know.
Yeah. It's funny.
Kind of like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Brady Bunch. That's exactly right, yeah.
I mean,
it's funny.
Know.
I think the fans are more bitter rivals of each other than the companies are.
Perhaps, you know, but I think the one thing that we can all agree with is that Marvel means money, you know? So, the M in Marvel stands for money, folks. And so, you know, without, you know, further belaboring it or discussing it, I mean, let's hope that at some point it's cool. I mean, are you guys for this change? Because here's what I think. I think that if they do in fact do, and I'm like Eric, I don't necessarily think that they will put Guardians in the park. I'm kind of on the fence about that. And Jeff, you might differ. But if they do, I can totally see them changing Universe of Energy to that Guardians and having Doctor Strange have like the Wonders of Life and have another, you know, like Captain Marvel or somebody, you know, Marvel's in her dang name for heaven's sake, but some other character, maybe T'Challa or Black Panther or something, take over, you know, or Ant-Man or something, you know, or Fantastic Four for heaven's sake. I mean, can you imagine the layover that would happen or the makeover for Mission Space?
Oh,
you know,
gosh,
if they decide to put the Fantastic Four in a space shuttle and shoot them off into space, I mean, that's a pretty big no-brainer, and they could probably do the 3D film relatively easily.
Well,
So-
there are 4 seats in those capsules, and it is the
Yeah,
fantastic
there you
one,
go.
so.
There you go.
See, there you go. That's my. I
But
mean, that was
you
my
know what?
thought process. The whole when you said that originally, Jeff, I was thinking to myself, that's going to be a Fantastic Four ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that we don't know what happens behind closed doors. We have no idea what Disney and Universal talks about. So there's a lot on the table that may be going on that is just completely oblivious to us. And that's why we call these rumors, because Disney has not confirmed anything yet. The only thing that they have confirmed is that you're getting Guardians of the Galaxy over Disney California Adventure. Disney has not opened their mouth about anything else. So again, as I give you guys this information, remember, it's all speculation, but it's pretty darn good speculation when it comes down to it. Eric, when you saw the pictures of those, height test balloons that were going up in that area, that screamed, we're thinking of something, but, we just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
At
Now,
the same time.
Okay. We know that Disney's California Adventure is getting a Marvel land. I mean, Disney has pretty much said that in so many words. And this Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is going to be kind of like the centerpiece to it, or at least the gateway attraction to it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I like the idea of bringing all the Marvel to Epcot. And the only reason I say that is because I think that Disney has either forgotten about or just totally abandoned the whole purpose of Epcot being educational as well as entertaining.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I think Disney has forgotten about Epcot completely. Have you seen the pictures inside Journey into Imagination of the carpet being held together by duct tape?
Now, see, that's not.
I mean,
that's not forgetting about. That's willful neglect.
That's abandonment. That's
That
what
is
that is.
that. You know what that tells me, Jeff? That tells me that attraction is not long for this earth.
No.
I agree.
No.
Now, and of course, this is coming from somebody who still has not forgiven Disney for taking out Maelstrom and making it Frozen Fever or Frozen Ever After or Frozen Enchilada Dinner. I don't know what you call it. Whatever they're calling it this time.
I'll never forgive you to what you've done.
Yes, exactly.
I'll
Because
never let go.
I'll never.
I will never.
I will never forgive you for what you've done to my family. I'm gonna get
But
you.
the whole thing is, I would not have a problem with this if they had just simply done like they had done with like the Three Caballeros and like with the Seas and Nemo and Friends, and have it
Yeah.
in the actual country that inspired it. So that's what Disney did, is they took the Norway Pavilion and turned it into a suburb of New Fantasyland. And that I don't see them doing anything different if they go to a Guardians of the Galaxy themed roller coaster for the old Universe of Energy.
I hear the streets of Fantasyland are rough.
I know.
Growing up in the streets of Fantasyland, we had to push magic dust every single day, hour by hour, by the pound. Jeff gets me. Oh yeah. Come on, Eric. You know you want to laugh.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Tough streets.
So this is what I'm thinking is going to happen, is that future world, the once magnificent future world, is going to become the suburbs of Tomorrowland. Epcot is really just going to be an extension of the Magic Kingdom.
Let's define Tomorrowland as to what it really is these days. It is not tomorrow because it does not look into tomorrow in any way,
It is
shape, or
Space
form.
Fantasyland. Okay, is that better?
Yeah, I think that is a lot better because you take a look at the attractions that are there now. The only two that really seem anything as a look into tomorrow, well, you can't exactly count Carousel of Progress anymore. All of that stuff has come and gone. So that's not tomorrow.
Well, the virtual reality
is-
goggles are coming back.
Oh, yeah, they're coming back. They were big back in the 90s, too. I mean, you see what has happened to Interventions.
Mhm.
You see what the building has become, a warehouse,
Yes.
except for one exhibit, I think, left over, one.
Mhm.
And you see what is happening with Figment.
Mhm.
You now start to see rumors of what's happening with Adventure. How much longer do you think that Disney can hold on to the whole future world aspect and educational aspect of what that park was meant for? I don't think it's going to last very long.
I
Really
think they
good.
can still keep the educational and the discovery aspects of it, but they just got to commit to it. Now, if you want to say like the future or tomorrow, that's fine, because the problem with the future is it keeps turning into the present, and it never turns into the present that you expected when it was the future.
And that's why Marvel is awesome, because
Yeah, that's
when you
true.
look
Yeah.
at what they're doing with the comics and Tony Stark and future technology and things like that, it's fantastical and it's really cool. It's almost like a rebirth of this whole Jules Verne kind of aesthetic. And I mean,
Yeah.
instead of steampunk, which is awesome, they do have a really nice aesthetic in the Marvel comics that are being created these days, at least over the past 5 years, when it comes to the Illuminati. And I mean the group, the Illuminati for Marvel Comics, not like, the Illuminati like this, like,
Yeah,
we're not talking,
helicopter.
we're not
Conspiracy
talking
theory.
about the conspiracy theorists
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All of a sudden we're going to be in the search engine for the Illuminati. So we're predicting future events, but we might,
At Disney, we might be. That's a good possibility.
well, I don't mean we don't mean to derail this.
There's going to be a bright, shining eyeball at the top of the Mexico Pavilion. So,
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
and we're watching you from
Well,
it.
there wasn't there something like that in Maelstrom when it was still around? Didn't they have a big eye or something watching
Yeah, it was
you, or-
Odin.
Yeah, it was Odin.
It was Odin. He was the dude saying, "You are not the first to pass this way," and you just see
So-
him.
There's no telling where that eye is now. And it's all
Well, the eye right now is over in the Forbidden Eye at the Indiana Jones in Anaheim. That's where it is right now.
oh, the one that never works.
No, it works now.
It's broke down half the time.
Actually, it works really well now. The eye
Does
works.
it work finally?
Yeah, the eye works. Oh, hey, how about that one for an insert? So,
So yeah, let's just treat this as it is: speculation, rumor, all that other stuff rolled into one. You're getting the Guardians over in California, and we just have to sit here and wait it out. It's like, whatever, Disney. Just make your mind up on what you're going to do. So
Just make it good, Disney.
just make it
we're
good.
tired of trying to figure you out. We're literally trying to figure out. One other thing I do want to mention that's kind of real quick. It has to do with annual pass holders. And this is very interesting, and I don't know if I exactly agree with it. I don't know if some of you, and you probably have, I don't have, Eric, I don't know if you have, run into cast members who walk up to you and just want a couple minutes of your time to do a quick, when you're at Epcot or when you're at Animal Kingdom or some other place, they walk up, got a little, iPad with them or something else, and hey, can you do a quick survey with me and everything else?
Yeah.
Couple times they take down your email. They ask, are you staying on property? Or are you doing this? Are you a pass holder? Blah, blah, blah. Well, recently, according to annual pass holders, and get the survey, one of the questions on the survey is how they feel about Disney out dates on annual pass holders when brand new shows and attractions are opened at the Walt Disney World Resort, which means, in essence, the day that attraction opens and maybe a couple of days after that, your days in the park as an annual pass holder are blacked out. Now, John, I know you're an annual pass holder. How would you feel? Say, for instance, Pandora, the World of Avatar, coming in 2017, this survey goes through, very popular for some reason, and Disney decides to do that. As an annual pass holder, the amount of money that you pay every single year, is that right or wrong?
Sucks.
Sucks.
Sucks. Where's the big suck button? Is there a suck sound effect around here? Because I just want to, there's got to be some kind of suckage button. Hey, look, man, that's why, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, there's this. Yeah, there's that. And how about this? That was like a trifecta of failed trombones right there. That was awesome. Ooh. I think that's a WDW After Dark first, people. Triple fail horns.
It's kind of like dueling banjos, only
it was in a way, actually. Yeah.
Only worse, yeah. You know, it's kind of like.
But I mean, I'm serious. This is a real thing. Somebody took a screenshot of their survey, and it had that on there. How would you feel if your days were blacked out when new attractions or new shows opened at the Walt Disney World Resort as a pass holder?
Well, yeah, it would suck because you want that option. You now we know. Now I can tell you from my experience, if there was something opening up like, okay, Food and Wine Festival, if I was told that I and Chris and I could not, as annual pass holders, could not attend the opening week or weekend of the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, right, we would not be happy because we love going to opening weekend, of Food and Wine Festival.
Sure, yeah.
And we might not be there for, the entire week or whatever, but we'll come down for a weekend or we'll come down for a few days and we'll, check it out. And just like we did this past week, and so, yes. And can you imagine the outcry? I can't even imagine the outcry from the people that would be
outcry. Oh, okay. When you talk about the outcry of something like this happening, let's talk about all the social media members that cover these new shows, these new parades, and everything else, unless they are specifically invited by Disney to attend. All of these other annual pass holders who do blogs, vlogs, podcasts, vidcasts, pigeon carrier, whatever you want to do, I don't care what it is, you're covering Walt Disney World, and you can't go because you're an annual pass holder. How is that going to go over with the Disney community, social media-wise? Because during the Marceling the Magic Kingdom tour, one of the things that cast member talked about is how much Disney relies on social media to get feedback on what they are doing right and what they are doing wrong when it comes to shows, attractions, food, resorts, etc., etc. Annual pass holders being blacked out on these types of situations, they're going to get the response that they deserve from social media because 90% of, being more generous than I should be, 70 to 80% of all these people have annual passes that go, and they're local.
Right.
Local. That is a disaster waiting to happen. I don't know if you've heard about the Uber-style services that Disney has been testing here lately, where you call Disney Transportation. They send a car to your resort that can take you to another resort that you pay for. That question was asked in a survey. Because of the response it got in the survey, Disney is now testing it.
They have to. They have to make money.
Answers you get on this question is going to determine whether or not, as a annual pass holder, you might be blacked out on just opening week. Not only opening day, but it could be opening week as well.
Yeah, that would suck.
So, something to think about.
Just to put a cap on it, my end, Eric can chime in. I'm sure millions of those pass holders have millions of influencers, because think of all the different podcasts and magazines and blogs that are based out of Central Florida that would be shut out, of that experiencing that. And but here's the good news. The good news is that they asked the question, and the person writing that survey, it's funny, the information that they gather, they can spin it however they want. Maybe they asked that question specifically to shoot down someone in a glass tower that thought that might be a good idea. right? So they include that in a survey and they say the guests are highly negative on this. We do not need to do this. And here's the proof, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So here's the proof. And I think a lot of people forget that aspect of these surveys, that the narrative can be controlled by the answers that the public gives. So if it's hugely negative, that could further reinforce someone on the inside that has the same opinion we do as fans and say, hey, we shouldn't do this. And here is the empirical evidence to support my stance. So can we not do it? Can we not do that to our pass holders?
I'm imagining.
Right.
One of the executives walking into Bob's office. Hey, Bob, hey, man, we don't need to do this. This is a bad idea.
Oh, I doubt Bob. It's a
type situation.
After all the headache and horse crap that he had to take over the past 8 weeks or however many weeks since Shanghai Disney opened, my God, that man, poor guy.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Jeez. So okay, that's my 2 cents worth for the show this time around. So,
Eric, what did you have something you wanted to say before?
Back when I was an annual pass holder and we would go so often, and we seem to get these people, the survey takers, more often than not. And it almost got to the point where, can I have your email address? I say, well, yeah, it's this. Look down. Oh, it's you again.
It auto completes.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we were one of the primary reasons that Disney increased its marketing budget for the state of Alabama. But I'm just saying. But
it offered you a few bounce back visits.
Yeah.
A few bounce back visits, a few codes.
As it was, yeah. If I was getting this question on my survey, it's like, I'm sorry, sir, do you have a "oh my God, hell no" option on that survey? Because I will hit it, and I will hit it with a sledgehammer. I will break your freaking tablet just hitting that "oh my God, hell no" answer. Because you can't tell me that there's anybody. Thank you. No applause, just throw money. But you can't tell me that there's a single guest, annual pass holder guest, that thinks it's a good idea. It's like, yes, I have an annual pass, but, go ahead. I really don't need to show up the first day or the first week for a brand new ride that's been hyped for 6 freaking months. No, go ahead. No, I tell you what happened. This was somebody in middle management. It's kind of like in The Incredibles. She's that Mr. Huff guy. There's the kind of guy who thinks he has real power. It has just enough to, screw up lives. But he thinks he's like head of the corporation. So what he'll do is, you know what? We need to do something about the crowds. We need to level out the crowds. We need to do something to where things are not crazy busy when we launch a ride or we launch a show. Let's explore the option of blackout dates.
For the record,
I guarantee you, whoever put that survey together is kind of like, well, he wants it on there. By God, I'm going to give it to him straight up the ass.
That's right. Boink.
Yeah. And so, yes, you're right, Aljon. This is what you do when you think this is a really bad idea. And you put it in there because it's kind of like, well, it's a bad idea. I know it's a bad idea. But Mr. Huff, 3 floors up, doesn't think it's a bad idea. So what we do is we need the thousands, yay, millions of annual pass holders to tell him, hell no.
Hail to the no.
Hail to the no.
Long enough to build stuff as it is, and then you're going to ask pass holders not to see it for another week? How much more of a bad idea can that actually be? Come on, be honest.
Yeah. Can you imagine the cage rattling? Can you imagine the cage rattling? I mean, the natives will be restless. They will.
It's kind of like we need to trim some payroll. Let's get rid of all of our character meet and greets.
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, we'll still audition for Benedict Cumberbatch because
Yeah, there you go.
we need Doctor Strange. Naturally,
if I had a nickel for every time that I've been mistaken for Benedict Cumberbatch, I'd still be waiting for that first nickel. But that's beside the point.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for that. What a great discussion that was. Boy, this is supposed to be the news show. Now we've gone into some great discussion here. That's what happens. We have a news show and a discussion.
I aim to please when it comes to this show.
Oh, so. You sure do, man. Yeah, we won't let you down. We won't let you down. Eric, while we button up this section, you had a little tidbit you wanted to include about Marvel.
I do want to throw in about Marvel because while we are recording this is on Tuesday night, the season 4 premiere of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming to ABC, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And there's a lot of stuff that's happened since the end of season 3. If the flash forward at the end of that episode, the season 3 finale, has anything to say about it. You have Daisy, who is on the run and using her powers pretty much to a level that we've not seen before. Coulson is no longer the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's a new guy, Jason O'Mara. And now you have the freaking Ghost Rider on the scene. And this is not the Ghost Rider as we know him from the comic books. No, this is not Johnny Blaze. This is not Dan Ketch. This is a kid named Robbie Reyes, who is basically, he's got the ghost of a serial killer possessing his body, and he is going around in a fiery Dodge Charger. And I gotta tell you, the ride is sweet looking as Christmas. I'm telling you, it's just that nice. And the flame effects, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I like it.
It's cool, man.
And the more I know about, the more I find out about this character, the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider, the more I'm liking him.
Yes.
Because there is a strong, Incredible Hulk vibe going. Like, say, if you remember the old TV show back in the 70s, where you have David Banner. Yes, he was David Banner, not Bruce Banner, but David Banner. Don't get me started on that. Trying to control the beast within. And it's that same kind of thing. It's like Reyes is the one that's trying to use this beast for justice or vengeance, if you will. And meanwhile, the spirit within just wants to kill everything and, just forget about asking the questions later. So, and I'm just going to wrap it up with saying this right here. If you are the type that when your favorite thing gets canceled, your favorite game gets canceled, your favorite TV show gets canceled, or whatever, and you think the answer is to go to change.org and start up an online petition, well, let me tell you something, Chuckles. You don't save it with an online petition. You save it by getting on your butt in front of that TV and watching this thing now. Because the network has put this into a time slot that is almost guaranteed to kill it unless people start watching it in droves. And that's just this is business. So if you want to save the show, you save the show starting now. And we will have recaps, weekly recaps, so you can keep up with what's going on and make sense of all this during the weekly Mighty Marvel Geek Show, 8 p.m. Eastern on Sorcerer Radio and also at WeBeGeeks.net the very next day.
And it's good stuff, by the way. Their podcasts are great. One of these days, I'm going to have to join you for some roundtable discussion. I think last time you invited me and I couldn't make it, but for the S.H.I.E.L.D. finale. But I will, Jeff watches it religiously. Kristen and I do. We watch it religiously. And my understanding is the later time slot will be introducing some really darker themes, which I'm looking forward to personally.
It's good that they're leveraging that to where they can get into some areas that maybe they couldn't the hour before.
Mm-hmm. Family hour. Yeah.
And see, if you watch it religiously, it's time for a revival up in this house. Can I get an amen?
I think it's going to be a little bit of a reboot. for the series.
Let's hope.
Back to ground zero, and the introduction of a darker character like the Ghost Rider is going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it personally. Jeff, I know you're looking forward to it, especially seeing your girl Daisy Johnson again, right?
Definitely. I'm ready to see Sky again. Yeah, I still call her Sky. I don't care how they change it, or anyway, she will always be Sky to me because I love that name. I'm not totally on board with many times, not totally on board when it comes to this whole car deal, when it comes to the Ghost driver. No, not rider. Rider would be on a motorcycle or on a horse. Driver would be more appropriate in this situation.
Call my Uber driver. It's Ghost Rider. He's got an Uber sticker in the front of his Camaro or whatever the hell he's driving.
But like Eric said, the trailers that I've seen for this does make it look very interesting. Looking forward to it. If they go a little darker, I'll be very happy. The more Sky I get, the more happier and blue I will be. Just because. So.
All right. I like it. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and button up this show. Hey, thank you for all that info, guys. We appreciate it. Don't forget, check out WDW After Dark online on our website, WDWAfterdark.com, social media to follow. All that good stuff is there online, and you can leave us voicemail messages if you wish. You've got all that information in our show notes. And once again, a great place to shop and support the show, as we have all of those links to Amazon. You want to pick up the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box sets. You want to pick up Beauty and the Beast Platinum Edition on Blu-ray and DVD. You want to pick up Captain America Civil War and The Jungle Book and so many other films and DVDs. Do so using our Amazon link. And don't forget to book your trip with Kristen at magicaljourneysvacations.com. Jeff, where can people find you, and what's going to be happening with you this week on Sorcerer Radio?
They can find me on Twitter at DW_60. DW60 happens on Thursday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, srsounds.com. This week, we talk about a recent survey that was done with a lot of different people when it comes to the Zika virus affecting the Walt Disney World Resort. Over half of the people that took this survey said they would be canceling their trips to the Orlando area because of this. And I posted a question over in the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone, how they felt about it and if they would do the same thing. We'll talk about that this week on DW60.
Hey, just so you know, parks were busier than hell this past week. Also, Mr. Eric Allen, what's going on with you? You took the day off for a Sorcom review, but you will be back. You've got Mighty Marvel Geeks. What's going on, and where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Uncle Servo for mainly Marvel and general shenanigans, and at Sorcom Review for more Disney-centric shenanigans. You can also visit the Sorcom Review's Facebook page. Where else? On Facebook at facebook.com/Sorcom Review. Also, give me a shout-out in the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone.
Very good. I'd like to give a shout out to our friends at Sorcerer Radio. Once again, you can find a lot of us there, DJs there, as we've mentioned. You can find me and Kristen doing a WDW Tiki Room variety show about all things Disney. We will be posting some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Comic-Con panels, so you get to hear more from Chloe Bennett. You get to hear more from Clark Gregg, who plays Director Coulson, or not Director Coulson.
Former Director
Coulson with the glasses, and the rest of the cast of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on WDW Tiki Room, and a couple other things. We've got our trip report as it pertains to our latest trip to the Walt Disney World Resort. We spent a lot of time at Epcot and a couple of resorts at the Bonnet Creek Resort hanging out, so we're going to talk about that in upcoming programs. So please listen to WDW Tiki Room on Sorcerer Radio, Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. for the replay on srsounds.com. Another quick shout out to WeBeGeeks.net. There's a great podcast network, a bunch of great podcasts like Mighty Marvel Geeks, like, of course, WDW After Dark, WDW Tiki Room, and E-Ticket Time with our buddy Dan Barnes, and so much more. Please check all of their great podcasts out there at WeBeGeeks.net. And don't forget unboxing videos and more on my YouTube channel at JediMouseketeer.com. And on that note, we will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Don't forget, it's Better After Dark. We'll see you sometime soon. Next week, hopefully, if technology works. Thunder when it came to the Mighty Marvel Geeks intro.
Meanwhile, at the above-ground underwater suborbital volcano lair.
Who originally did that for the Super Friends? Was it Ted Knight? It sounded like
Yes,
Ted Knight.
it was Ted Knight.
Was it
That's
Ted
who
Knight?
I was trying to channel my inner Ted Knight to do that.
You know, Jeff's got a set of pipes on him, but I have to admit, man, Ted Knight, it's hard to beat Ted Knight. You know, for those people that don't know who Ted Knight is, you know, look at the Mary Tyler Moore Show, people. You know, he's just some kind of weird traffic report. Coming to you live from the WDW After Dark traffic copter, Eric Allen with traffic. Jeff Davis with the news. Al John with sports. Oh, that's impossible. That'll never happen.